So we're going to try another team up solo play with two commander decks. We're going to use Raph and Leo, Sibling Rivals, and Mikey and Don, Party Planners. Let's see if I have better luck this time. I guess we'll find out. So the first boss that we're up against is going to be Slash, the Dark Mirror. Attacking creatures the bosses control have first strike. So for our opening hands, Raph and Leo has Vibrant Cityscape, Old Hob, Mountain, Windscarred Crag, Turtle Blimp, Skateboard, and Plains. Mikey and Don have drawn their first hand of Escape Tunnel, Mind Transfer Protocol, Bespoke Bow, Island, Forest, Marauding Mutagen, and Forest. So for the first card drawn on the turn, Raph and Leo get Casey and Raph, Hotheads. While Mikey and Don draw Retro Mutagen. Enchanted creature is a turtle with base power and toughness of 0-1. It can't attack and loses all abilities. So for Raph, we're going to start off with a Windscarred Crag. It comes into play tapped, and we're going to gain a life. For Mikey and Don, we're going to play Escape Tunnel. So we're going to sack it, search our library for a basic land, and put it onto the battlefield tapped. So what we're going to search for is an island, and I guess it comes into play tapped, so we can't do anything. We are going to pass it over to the boss's turn. The boss is going to get Rat King's Revolution. Each hero taps a creature they control. Well, we have no creatures, so that'll fizzle. And then we're going to draw, Foot Skirmisher. It's got flying. Ugh. So that's going to be it. We would go to attacks, but the Foot Skirmisher just came in. So we're going to untap. Then we're going to upkeep. There's nothing to do there right now. And draw. So Raph will draw Leo's Guidance. And Mikey will draw Novel Nunchaku. So Raph is going to play Vibrant Cityscape. We're going to sack it, search for a basic land card, and put it onto the battlefield tapped. So we're going to search for a mountain, put it into play tapped. And then we're going to take our Wind Scarred Crag. And we're going to tap it for 1 mana. And we're going to cast Skateboard. So when it enters, we tap target permanent, which ain't really going to do anything in this scenario. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has haste. And we can equip for 1. Mikey's going to play a Forest. So we have 2 lands. But unfortunately, we have nothing in our hand that we can cast, so we'll have to pass. So passing over to the boss, they're going to draw their first card. Oh, shuffle this card and the boss graveyard into the boss library. So we got ourselves a little freebie for their second card. Villain Mayhem. As a team, the heroes choose 3 creatures they control. Oh, we have none. Destroy each other creature. Nothing really happens there. So the boss can attack. The Foot Skirmishers are going to attack for 2 damage. So the boss turn is ended. We get to untap, upkeep, nothing to do there, and draw. So Raph will draw a Mountain. And Mikey will draw Krang, Mastermind. So Raph is going to play a Mountain. Then we're going to tap all 3 for, we'll say all of them red. And we're going to cast Raph and Leo, Sibling Rivals. So whenever Raph and Leo attack, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap 1 or 2 target attacking creatures. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So Mikey's going to play a forest. We're going to tap a blue and 2 green. And we're going to cast Bespoke Bow. So when it enters, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. We're going to target Foot Skirmisher. Because the boss doesn't have a hand, it will go to the grave. And equipped creature gets +2/+1 and gains vigilance, or has vigilance. So that's pretty much it for our turn. So now the boss gets to go. The boss will untap. The first card is a Foot Disciple. 3/3. Next card is Villain Mayhem. As a team, the heroes choose 3 creatures they control, destroy each other creature the heroes control. We've only got 1 creature, so we'll choose that one and nothing gets destroyed. So now the boss would attack, but the Foot Disciple just came out, so the boss can pass to our turn. We will untap, upkeep, and then draw. So Raph is going to draw Fast Forward. And Mikey's going to draw High Score. So Raph is going to play Plains. We're going to tap it. And we're going to equip the skateboard to Raph and Leo. Mikey and Don are going to play an island. And then we're going to tap an island, a forest, and an island to cast Mind Transfer Protocol. Till end of turn, target artifact or creature becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness of 4 or 5. So we'll make Raph and Leo a 4 or 5, +1 from the skateboard, and we get to draw a card. So we're going to draw Thornwood Falls. So I think we're going to attack with Raph and Leo. So right now it's a 5/5 because it's a 4 or 5 due to the protocol, and we get the +1/+0 from the skateboard. So 5/5, and we will attack. So we're going to do 5 damage to slash. And because it's the first combat phase of the turn, we get to untap 1 or 2 target attacking creatures. So we'll untap Raph and Leo. And after that phase, there's another combat phase. So we will tap them again and attack, doing another 5 damage to slash. That's where we will end our turn and pass to the boss. So the boss is going to draw into Kyrie's Planning. Heroes lose 3 life. The boss gains 3 life. And then the boss gets Villain Infiltration. As a team, the heroes choose a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control, destroy it. Unfortunately, all we have is Raph and Leo, so we'll have to destroy them. So we're going to untap. We get an upkeep, and we will draw. So Raph will draw into Sally Pride, Lioness Leader. And Mikey will draw into Weathermaker. So for Raph, we're going to play a Mountain. And we're going to tap for 1 red and 4 other mana. and bring in Casey and Raph, hotheads. So when they enter, we choose one or both. Each mode must target a different player. So we're going to choose both. Target player exiles the top card of their library. Then we can play that card without paying its mana cost. So we'll target ourselves for that. And target player creates 2 treasure. So we'll target Mikey for that one. So the card that we're exiling is Rock Soldiers. So we will cast that right away. When they enter, they destroy it to 1 non-target or non-target non-creature artifact. Oh, that was hard to say. So when it enters, destroy up to 1 target non-creature artifact. But there is none, so we just get a 4/3 creature. So Mikey is going to spend an island, forest, island to cast Weathermaker. So it has landfall. When a land you control enters, put a charge counter on the artifact. You can tap it for a mana of any color, remove 2 charge counters to add 2 colorless, or tap it to remove 3 charge counters and deal 3 damage to any target. Then we're going to play Thornwood Falls, which comes into play tapped and will gain a life. Then we're going to tap our last forest for a mana. We're going to tap the Weathermaker, and the Weathermaker has a charge counter on it because of the Thornwood Falls coming into play. And we're going to sacrifice one of our treasures. We'll say it's green, so we got 3 mana there, and we're going to play High Score. So if 1 or more +1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many +1/+1/+1 counters are put on it instead. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card if you control a creature with the highest power or greatest power among creatures on the battlefield. So I think we're going to attack with Casey and Raph, hotheads, and we're going to do 4 damage to slash. That's all we can do. So we're going to pass the turn to the bosses. The boss is going to draw 2 event cards. So we've got Bebop's Rampage. It deals 2 damage to each creature the heroes control. Okay. And we have Krang's Stratagem. As a team, the heroes discard a total of 2 cards. So Raph, we're going to share the load here. Raph is going to discard Fast Forward because we don't really need to be goading the Slash's creatures. They will attack every turn anyway. And we're going to discard Retro Mutagen because if I use this card on the enemy creatures, it's a little unfair because there's no way for them to remove it. And the creature won't die, and it'll just sit there. And it's kind of, if I did this to every creature in their deck, it's an auto win pretty much. So we're just not going to play this. So the Foot Disciple will attack. We're going to use the Rock Soldiers to block, and they will both kill each other. Oh, no, they won't. They have first strike. Ooh, decisions. Ooh. You know what? I'm going to take the 3 damage. So now we're going to untap, upkeep. And then we're going to draw. So Raph is going to draw the Ooze. And Mikey is going to draw Fugitive Droid. So Raph has 5 lands. We're going to tap 2 Mountain. And we're going to bring out the Ooze. Whenever a creature you control with a +1 counter on it leaves the battlefield, create a mutagen for each +1 counter on it. We can also tap it to exile target card from a graveyard and create a mutagen. So we're going to tap the ooze right away, and we're going to exile fast forward from our grave, and we're going to create a mutagen. Then we're going to take our last 3 lands, and we're going to tap for a white, a red, and a white. And we're going to cast Leo's Guidance. So we get to put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 3 target creatures. Maybe we should hold off on that, just in case. You know what? We're going to hold off on this one here. We're not going to cast it yet, because we can target one of Mikey's creatures if they bring out a creature. So let's see what happens with them first. So with Mikey, we've got 5 lands. We're going to tap an island. And we're going to bring in Fugitive Droid. This creature can't be blocked if an artifact entered the battlefield under your control this turn. And we can pay 1, sack it, counter target spell that targets an artifact or a creature you control. Then we're going to take the last 4 lands and tap them. We'll do 2 green and 2 blue. And we're going to cast Mikey and Dawn, Party Planners. We've got Ward 2. You can look at the top card of your library. If the boss targets them, I'm just ignoring the Ward 2 part because the boss is the boss. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play lands and cast Mutant, Ninja, or Turtle spells from the top of your library. If you cast a creature spell this way, that creature enters with an additional +1 counter on it. So we should have cast this first. And we're going to look at the top card of our library, Tenderize. That is neither a ninja or turtle or mutant or land. So I guess it goes back. So now Raph can finish and play Leo's Guidance. So we're going to put a +1 counter targeting Mikey and Dawn, Casey and Raph, and the Rock Soldiers. And we're going to tap Casey and Raph and Rock Soldiers, and we're going to do 10 damage to Slash, defeating him. So in the next stage, the next bosses that come into play, we have Kyrie. Whenever a creature the heroes control die, the bosses lose. I keep wanting to say the bosses. If only. Whenever a creature the heroes control die, the heroes lose 1 life. And we've got Rocksteady. Whenever the bosses attack, put a +1 counter on each creature named Foot Disciple. Ugh. I had to correct an error. When Mikey and Dawn got a +1 counter, high score would have given him an extra +1/+1 counter. And because 5 is the greatest, it isn't the greatest on the battlefield, so never mind that. So we can end our turn now. There's nothing left to do. The bosses can go. They're going to draw into Rat King's Revolution. Each hero taps a creature they control and puts X stun counters on it, where X is the number of bosses. Oh, no. So I put 2 stun counters on Casey and Raph, and 2 stun counters on the Fugitive Droid. So the next card they're going to pull is Foot Enforcer. It can't be blocked by more than 1 creature, and it's a 6/3. So the Foot Disciple will attack, getting a +1/+1 counter. Foot Enforcer can't because it just came in. And we're going to use Mikey and Dawn Party Planners to block. They're 5/5. That should take care of the Foot Disciple. That's a 4/4. And we're doing good this round so far. So the boss is now going to pass to us. We get to untap or take a stun counter off. And then we get to upkeep. And then we will draw. So we've got All Will Be One for Raph. And for Mikey, we've got Tenderize. Mikey's going to look at the top card of the library, and it's Surveillance Scam, so it's not what we want. So we're going to tap all 5 of our lands. We'll do green, 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 blue, blue. And we will also tap our Weather Maker and crack our treasure for green and green. And we're going to cast Marauding Mutagen. When this creature enters, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. We can't do any of those, but it's got Death Touch, so yay for that. And we're going to cast Tenderize. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature and opponent controls. So you can have Mikey take out the Foot Enforcer. We're going to tap the Ooze to exile. Let's exile Tenderize from our grave and create another Mutagen token. Then we're going to tap three lands for mana, 2 red and a white. We're going to equip the Skateboard to the Rock Soldiers, and then we're going to sack a Mutagen and then sack a Mutagen because it's at sorcery speed, giving our opponents a chance to respond, but it's the AI, so it's not going to. So we're going to put 2+1 counters on the Rock Soldier due to the Mutagen, and they're going to be riding a Skateboard. We're just going to go all out and attack with the Rock Soldiers, Mikey and Don, and Marauding Mutagen. That way we can do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 damage. And we will pass the turn and see what the AI does, the boss. So the first card they get is Copy. So we're going to copy the next event, the boss's play. And they're going to get Foot Disciple. So we're going to copy that, so there will be 2 Foot Disciples. So 2 feet. Always good to have. So now it's our turn. Because they can't attack, they just came into play. So we're going to untap and then upkeep and then draw. So we still have a KC and Raph tapped and Fugidroid because we took a stun counter off. So Raph gets Raph Most Attitude. And Mikey draws Surveillance Scam. Mikey's going to look at the top card, and it is Party Dude. So none of the stuff we're looking for. Again. So Mikey is going to tap 3 forests. And we're going to equip the Bespoke Bow to Mikey and Don, Party Planners. I think for Raph, we're going to tap all 5 of our lands, 2 of them red, to bring out All Will Be One. So whenever we put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, this permanent deals that much damage to target opponent, creature an opponent controls, or planeswalker an opponent controls. So speaking of which, we're going to tap the Ooze to exile a card. We'll exile Leo's Guidance. And we will create a Mutagen token. So I think we're going to go to attacks. And we're going to attack... You know what? We're going to attack with Mikey and Don because they have Vigilance and we don't have to tap them. And that'll do the... Well, that'll do 7 damage. That'll be enough to defeat Rocksteady and Kyrie. So on to the 3rd stage, we have 3 bosses. We've got Chrome Dome. Ninjas, the bosses control, get +1/+0 for each boss in play. That sucks. Bebop. Whenever the bosses attack, put a +1 counter on each creature named Foot Disciple. There are 2 of them, so that sucks. And we've got Leatherhead. When this boss enters, the bosses gain 5 life for each boss in play. So they're going to gain 15 life. Okay, so that's pretty much all I can do. We'll pass to the boss's turn. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap one of the islands of Mikey's to cast Sewer Valence Cam. It's got flash. When this artifact enters or leaves the battlefield, you may tap or untap target creature. So we're going to tap one of the Foot Disciples. So now the bosses get their cards. Destroy all turtles. Well, that kind of sucks. Looks like we're going to lose Mikey and Don. For their second card, as a team, the heroes choose a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. Destroy it. The bosses lose life equal to that creature's power. So I think we've got to choose, well, we've got to choose the Rock Soldiers, because they're a 7/8 right now. So the bosses will lose 8 life, but we're going to lose our Rock Soldiers. The Rock Soldiers had 3 +1/+1 counters on them, and the ooze says because of that, we get to make 3 mutagens. So now we have 4 in total on the board. So the bosses can attack now. One of the Foot Disciples is tapped. The other one can attack, and we'll get a +1/+1 counter. And I will use Marauding Mutagen to defend. It's got Death Touch, so we'll kill that Foot Disciple. Turn is now going to pass to us, so we get to untap, upkeep, and draw. So we got Raph's Bravado, and we've got Party Dude. Oops, I forgot to make the bosses lose the 8 life when we lost the Rock Soldiers. So I just corrected that right now. We're going to tap we're going to tap the Ooze to exile Vibrant Cityscape, and we're going to create another mutagen token. Then we're going to tap all 5 of our lands and sacrifice each mutagen token, so all 5 of them. That's going to put 5 counters on Casey Jones, or Casey and Raph. And when I put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, this enchantment deals that much damage to target opponent. We're going to say opponent. So we're going to do 5 damage to the boss. I think we're going to tap all our land, all 5, and the Weathermaker, and recast Mikey and Don Party Planners. We'll look at the top card of our library, and it's Raph. Well, we have no more mana, so can't cast him. We're going to attack with Casey and Raph, Hotheads. Currently, they are a 7. They are an 11. So we'll attack with that and do 11 damage to the boss. And there's not much left to do, so we can pass the turn. The boss is going to untap, and they will draw their cards. We've got another Foot Disciple, and another Foot Disciple, as if 1 wasn't enough. Now we got 3 of these, all benefiting from Bebop and Chrome Dome. So the Foot Disciple is going to attack. It's going to get a +1 counter, and it's going to get +3/+0 from Chrome Dome. But I think we're going to block with the Fugitive Droid. The fugitive droid is going to, well, it's going to get destroyed by the foot disciple. But that kind of protected us. So now we go to our turn. We get to untap, upkeep. We're going to draw into Quintessential Katana and Ray Fillet. But at this point here, we know Casey Jones can do 11 damage. The bosses never block, so we can go in for the win and squeak out that win before we get attacked by 3 foot disciples that are going to just annihilate us. So, hooray, we won this round. Next round, though. Next round. So, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope it gave you a little more of an in-depth experience of playing Team Up. And, well, see you next time.